Hey everyone, Sean here, and today in this video I wanted to sit down and talk about the newest update that is coming for Genshin. It is that time of the year for Genshin players to be very excited and come back because there's actually something big and new coming for the game that's been going on for almost, 3 years now or something like that. It's been quite a bit, and we've been with Tamura for almost a year at this point, if not at that. And we're definitely ready for a new region, and it is coming. It is coming pretty much with Fontaine, the Hydro, affiliated region with the Hydro Archon Fiorina come into play with the Genshin story and lore and all that fun stuff. That she has been hinted throughout Sumeru and perhaps other times as well. But this time around, she is full, revealed even more, and we'll definitely we'll get that piece of that when the version comes out soon enough. So let's just go over the notes that I have. On hand to kind of go through like the major stuff when it comes to what is coming and all that stuff for version 4.0. So first and foremost, well, at least on my notes anyway, on Twitter, Lenny, Lynette, and Freminet are coming to 4.0. So with Lenny, I believe he will be featured in the first part of the banner, and then along with Lynette. And Yulon will be part of the banner as well, I believe, in advance. Later notes will confirm that, will help me confirm that. But I believe she will be part of the dual banner as well, Yulon that is. She's still really good. If you really want her instead of Lenny, then yeah, I would go ahead and do that. Yulon is a guaranteed good character to have under your belt. Very good for the Hydro element, especially for this coming patch or this coming version, because it's all about Hydro, right? So I'll definitely highlight the Hydro units, hopefully. But for funny enough, Lenny is the Pyro bow user, who is interesting already. I haven't quite read his kit. Is going to be having a sort of like that what do you call it, Jumpy Dumpty in English, but Bom Bom Bagadan type of thing for his ult, I believe. He's going to be charge shot oriented, so he's going to be another, well, guess what, another charge shot bow user like Ganyu and Tinari and such like that. And Lynette will be the featured 4-star during phase 1 of 4.0's banners. But you don't really have to chase for the 4-star if you think you do want her, because Lynette will be the free character coming this patch when you reach to AR 25. So you actually don't have to worry about that. Trying to get her from the banner. First off, please don't ever do that. I mean, I've been guilty of that, and let me tell you, it sucks. I've seen my friend trying to do the same thing for certain 4-star characters, when they really want them especially, and it did not go well their way. Let me tell you, man, I can tell you firsthand that it is not good. So Lynette is luckily coming free once you get to AR 25 or Adventure Rank 25, so you don't really have to pull on that banner. So don't worry about it. Unless you are trying to go for Lenny, then that is fine. Then that is all good. Meanwhile, when it comes to phase 2, I believe Zhongli and Tarkaglia are coming as the dual banners for phase 2. And during phase 2 as well, the 4-star featurette will be Freminet, who is the cryo claymore user who likes to dive and stuff like that. Has the scuba diving helmet as part of like either their skill or alt. Pretty interesting. I thought like Freminet was like a robot or something, or part robot for some reason, but same in the same went with Lynette, but I think Lynette is just like very, like stoic. I think she's just very stoic. I mean, she could possibly be a puppet or something, that, or a doll, kind of like hiding her limbs and stuff like that, because such and such. But I think most likely she's just very stoic. I don't think she's really anything affiliated with that kind of storyline. So, but anyway, Feminette will be the featured 4-star for that banner. It's definitely not my type of character. So 4.0's banners for me overall are a huge skip. But on the topic of banners, word on the street is that the first half at least will be pretty nasty. Especially if you really want to go for characters like New Villette, Ryle Thiesley, and Fiorina, of course, the Hydro Archon. Word on the street is that they are back to back. And so that is going to be pretty rough if that is all true and accurate. And now, yes, we do have to remember that there is a phase 2 for every one of those for those versions. Excuse me. So 4.1, 2, and 3 are going to have phase 2 of each banner. So, or each version rather. So there is some breathing room in between, sure, but if you want to be guaranteed to be getting those characters, within from version to version, then yeah, it definitely is going to be a little more difficult, because they are right next to each other in terms of versions. But yes, phase 2 will definitely help out with the breathing room. But perhaps players like myself who aren't going to even roll on the 4.0 banners at all, could probably get away with it, unless my luck and everyone else's luck in that same situation will be like bad, so it really depends. It's all random, it's all gacha, of course, so mileage will definitely vary. If I'm unlucky though, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a rough time for sure, one way or the other. But something tells me that I will get most of the characters in that first half of version 4. So yeah, I really do want New Villette, Ryle Thiesley, and Fiorina, based off of like their two of them based off of their lore, one of them based off of just the design alone. Ryle Thiesley looks really cool. The other two are pretty powerful figures of their own right, like story wise. So definitely, like, I'm gravitating towards those characters. I mean, Fiorina is a given. She's an Archon, so Archons are just like naturally powerful, so it definitely likely that Fiorina is going to be very powerful in some way or form. But yeah, that's basically it on the banner stuff. Up next, there was a commercial that kind of looked like Genshin Go because of like the real life stuff, but it turned out not to be. It was just a commercial for 4.0. For whatever reason, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the real life stuff didn't help that, but it didn't turn out that way. So I thought it was gonna be Genshin Go, which like would be basically like kind of promoting like outdoor stuff, like walking, jogging, perhaps pedometer related stuff. So if you reach a certain amount of steps, you can get some rewards to help you with your game and stuff like that. So that could have been kind of cool, potentially. I'm not gonna lie, if that is a thing, or was going to be a thing, but that wasn't the case. It looked like it, but no. Of course, with the story quest stuff, there was going to be one for Glenny, and then there's going to be for the Archon story. We already talked about the banner stuff. Oh, dang it. Basically, yeah, we already went over the banners, and yeah, the Archon quest will be available in 4.0, I believe, right away. So That is going to be pretty interesting. That does feature, you know, of course, the Archon, Nuvolet, Navia, of course, and even what was it, Chlorine or something like that. I forget her name. It sounds like chlorine, so I call her Chlorine. The one with the hat and the gun. So I believe and then she has Electro, you know, and Navia and her have some sort of like relationship or something, complicated relationship. I don't know what. You know, so the shippers will definitely ship them together, and that will be an interesting look for the fan artists and stuff. But yeah, also, of course, new enemies, right? Including new bosses, and one of them being the Ice Wind Suite, which is basically a duo consisting of robot dancers, which they look pretty cool. And then also the Emperor of Fire and Iron, which is basically a volcanic crab looking enemy, which is pretty neat of itself. Of course, we have also other creatures, right? We've seen like otters and like different looking birds, right? Like the water-based like avians and stuff like that look pretty cool. That I do like as well. And other notes to go over. There is going to be another event that will come along with that somewhere in 4.0. And that event is called the Mega Mecha Melee, which features rewards and also Bennett as your reward. So there is a robot that does look like Bennett suspiciously, and there is probably some sort of story behind Bennett with Fontaine, because if you do look at Bennett, he kind of does look like somebody from Fontaine with the goggles and stuff like that. I always thought he kind of looked a little different, not gonna lie. A little bit, because, you know, Amber also did have goggles herself. So, maybe, you know, might have been like a red herring or something of sorts. I don't know, but yeah, if you look at Bennett, he does look closest to someone being from Fontaine. So, and also he is an orphan who has two dads at the moment. So, he does definitely have sort of like all the pieces to be a part of the Fontaine orphanage, along with Lenny, Lynette, and Feminine, which they all consider each other siblings. So that is of itself could be a very interesting connection if Bennett is from Fontaine indeed. Other events include the Relic Records, and there's one called Studies in Light and Shadow, Fontaine of Enchantment, Verdict of Blades. I think that's the combat-based event, and other such things too. So there are definitely other events to look forward to get more extra rewards and such like that. And then another big feature or a big update coming is the Battle Pass weapons. There's going to be more Battle Pass weapons finally, featuring weapons that have that Fontaine touch to them. I'm not sure what the effects are, but they look pretty cool already. So happy to see that. New artifact sets, of course, in Fontaine. One called the Golden Trope and the Mare Chose Hunter. I'm butchering that name for sure. One of them does involve with the elemental skill enhancement. I believe the other does involve with like normal attacks and charge attacks as well, but I'm not too sure on that, and we can wait to confirm that later in official like wording. But what is official for sure is the new party screen layout for 4.0. So in the past, we had this like really plain looking like party select screen with the characters kind of standing still, front like that, you know, front view, you know, cardboard pose and everything. But this upcoming update, while it's like one of those like bonus ones, it's really nice because they look all unique. They have different animations together. I've seen the video on that, which is really cool. All their animations are really cool. The background changes based off of like your location in a way, so that's really cool. It really looks a lot more improved. Like it looks way better than the one we have right now. Like I said, it's boring. Star Rail already does that better too in that regard as well. And now Genshin, it looks like they're taking notes of it. If not, they're taking a notch up because of the animations. If you look at, Raiden Shogun's animation already in the video, it looks really cool in that live stream reveal. So while yes, this is kind of like extra credit or supplemental, it does help. It's supplemental no less. And then I think that's pretty much it for all the major stuff. Other than, I mean, this wasn't talked about in the live stream, I think directly, so to say, but there is going to be an update on how light is rendered in the game. So there is this system called global illumination, which will basically enhance the lighting. It will take into account of the light from the light bouncing off of other surfaces, and it'll render that into play as well, not just direct lighting. It'll also take light from bouncing surface or surfaces it'll bounce off of, and how that reflects with other surfaces. So it'll look more realistic in a way. That realism will come into play, and overall, of course, it'll bring more color, natural colors, without making things too bright looking. It's just nice. It's just, it's more realistic, of course. Light just doesn't go on the surface. It also, various surfaces have their own, sort of, each surface has their own reflectivity, and so I think that taking that into account for a game like this would look nice, for a game that's supposed to look nice, stylish, and otherworldly, more ways than one. So yeah, so a lot of places. Now this isn't like every single part of Genshin. I think some buildings and areas will have that feature on, and more as it goes on, maybe. So again, it looks really cool and neat. I think it is a nice addition to the game, while supplemental, I would say, because it's just graphics. It is it does help the experience, just like with the party screen. So that, I think, is another pleasing feature. So that is pretty much like the basic stuff that happened in the live stream. So I would say overall, though, the world of itself in Fontaine looks really cool. I like the aquatic theming of it. I like the steampunk touches. I like that part of Europe being represented, especially with like France in particular. I like the character designs thus far, especially with Ryle Thiesley. He looks really cool. When it comes to the female side of things, it kind of varies, but they all look pretty good, I would say. I like the voicing already, although Nouvelet is kind of unexpected. He does sound a lot younger in Japanese than in English. He sounds like a typical deeper voiced male character. But in Japanese, he is voiced by Kamiya Hiroshi, I believe his name, who has voiced Araragi from Monogatari, and then of course Law from One Piece, Levi from Attack on Titan. It is a veteran voice actor, very well known within the community, but the actual voicing is a little strange. It's unexpected, to say the least. But at least it is from a voice actor I can get by or get behind, so to say. And Fiorina sounds way less girly than expected, which I do like. I mean, I think it fits Fiorina in Japanese, while in English it sounds a little more typical, but it fits still, I guess, and no less. But in Japanese, it sounds a little more unique in a way, so that's why I do like the Japanese side of things a little better. Although Nouvelet is one of the only exceptions, so to say, out of all the characters thus far, anyway. But it's still tolerable, I guess you could say. So, the creature designs are great, and everything else visually looks great. I mean, it looks promising. The whole like underwater diving thing is going to be fun for casual discoverers or explorers like me, while the completionists are probably going to have a nightmare because there's a lot of looks like there's a lot to do. And so from what I can hear, from what I've heard, there's going to be a lot more to collect. So that's going to be kind of a nightmare for the completionists. But for someone like me, I just want to look at stuff, and explore on my own leisure. In fact, I haven't even touched the new stuff that came out for Sumeru. That's just kind of how I am with these things. And especially with the new map update, which I kind of almost forgot to mention, maybe it'll make things a little easier. So maybe I'll come back to Sumeru to further explore those other areas that I didn't quite take my time with. So I think that'll be pretty fun once that part of the update rolls around. So that is, I think that's all the important stuff to cover. They haven't announced anything about like free 10 summons like they do in like Star Rail, unfortunately. So that's always something like very Genshin at this point. You've come to expect, unfortunately. It's kind of sad, but it is what it is, and they haven't really done other like updates that we really need. But they're just getting to other areas, which is nice, but they're still like kind of going around the bush kind of thing, beating around the bush when it comes to like the combat stuff. Like, dude, just give us a training dummy, put that in the Serenity pot, and call it a day. I mean, at least for me anyway. I mean, we want something to test our builds. We want to test our teams and such like that for damage. Look at the big numbers and stuff like that. I think we just need this elaborate test dummy. Throw that into the Serenity pot. I wonder how the combat would work in Serenity pot. Maybe they can update that, since that's what they do anyway, which is to further update the TCG, the Serenity pot. I don't know, man. They can make it work, I guess. So I believe that's pretty much it for reals. So I'm gonna leave it at that. If there's anything else I haven't covered, and you want to talk about it in the comment section below, I will definitely check those out, along with just comments in general of what you guys think of Fontaine, for those who still play Genshin Impact, or if you plan to come back to Genshin now because of Fontaine, you want to check it out. That's pretty natural, right? So I think it'll definitely bring back players for a little bit at least, and that is going to be like that honeymoon phase for some weeks, and then that wall will hit again. So yeah, comment section below, hit the thumbs, subscribe button, really do appreciate it. Don't forget to check out my Rogue Energy affiliation in the comment section or the description below. It will have the link. Use the coupon code Hawke525 to save some percentage off for every purchase. There is plenty to choose from, or at least enough to choose from, and you'll get some awesome energy. So again, thank you very much for this Hawke Talks episode featuring Fontaine, aka Genshin 4.0. I am personally excited for it. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I am definitely looking forward to that, and especially with the strongbox, right? Because that's likely going to be updated according to word on the street. I'm gonna have a fun time putting in all my trash gold artifacts into the new items in the strongbox. So thank you very much. This has been my Hawke Talks episode on Fontaine for Genshin. Thank you very much, and hope to see you all in the next video. Sean out.